Welcome back to another episode of Triple Intimidate. We do know it's been a while and we apologize for the delay. We've been very busy with other aspects of life, but we like to let everybody know that our number one priority has been and always will be Flesh and Blood and delivering content weekly, even more often than that to you guys. Which I guess we haven't been doing a good job of at all. Anyways, today we're coming at you with a gameplay video. I'm Max. Unfortunately, I'm not joined by Hayes, but fortunately, I'm joined, or Pierre, but fortunately, I'm joined by somebody much cooler than either of them, Jesse. Jesse, would you maybe quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. So, been playing Push Blood for just over a year now, and joined right after Everfest came out, but we were still playing Tales of Aria Store a lot. So, I've been a Lexi main pretty much from the start. I've dabbled in other heroes, but Lexi's always been my fallback. And so, I'm very excited now with the outsider support she got to see where things are going to lead with her. I think the biggest reason I enjoy playing Lexi is just the variety. Like, no matter what the meta turns into, you can just change your deck list and adapt to it, be it more control or more aggro. And yeah, no, I'm excited to see how this game goes. Thanks for having me, Max.
Yeah, absolutely. Very happy to have you on. Uh, so quick funny story. We actually recorded this gameplay about a couple months ago. It was quite a bit ago, maybe a few months ago, and the file essentially had a problem where the old Talishar UI was like flashing a lot, so we weren't able to upload that, and it was also a Lexi versus Bravo match. So I don't think I won that first one. I'm hoping I'm gonna win this one here, and I guess we're gonna see how it goes. So I'm looking at my sideboard here in my main plan into Lexi nowadays. Before I used to be able to fatigue her a little better. Nowadays, I want to do the whole Bravo smash thing. Like, I don't want to let her take her turns. I want to play stuff like Pulverize out. I just need to get like damage and value because there is a very fat chance with the codexes that I'm actually going to be able to block this hero out. That being said, some defensive options are still nice because Lexi is full of annoying on hits. So probably run something like this.
Yeah, and my side of the board, I'm running a Fuseless Lexi list, which has become very popular with all the new good Outsiders cards, like the Codexes Max mentioned, and stuff like Premeditate. Just generating Ponder tokens lets Lexi set up 5 or 6 card hands over and over. And I mean, obviously, if you're playing with 5 cards instead of 4, you're going to have higher average turns. And then my goal into Bravo is just don't let Bravo go and smash face on me. So I do have a couple little control options here with a couple ice cards, not very many, and then we got a little secret defensive option here. We'll see if it ends up coming into play or if I just use it as an offensive card.
Hmm. Very interesting. So it looks like Jesse got the choice of who's playing first here, and he chose me. So something that we have to be a little bit careful of on the first turn against Lexi is allowing her to load a couple arrows or even just one arrow into her arsenal zone. So we don't want to overextend. We either want to be presenting a big attack. We certainly don't want to be spending our action point on something silly. So I think it's safe here to make a tectonic or use tectonic plating to make a seismic surge. Looks like a bit of a weird pitch here. And then just pass. We're not going to swing hammer because he can commit 2 cards. He knows nothing else is coming, and then he can load. If we just pass here, then if he does load, which he's going to, then maybe we can actually go and smack him and get some damage through.
Yeah, and since you haven't done anything, as much as I'd love to get greedy and double load my arsenal here, getting a Command and Conquer song in my face right afterwards would really just defeat the whole purpose. So I'm going to just single load and keep 2 cards in hand so I can block a CNC in case it does come out here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just happy to get 2 cards out of his deck. Fatigue is still like a thing that could happen if he's forced to block a lot. And the other thing is there's a lot of cards in Ranger that don't block or block for 2. So Anethos for 6 might actually be pushing some damage through here. Let's find out.
Yeah, Bolt and Shot's an arrow I don't really want to double load into my arsenal because if I don't draw a buff next turn, I'm forced to pop Snappies on my first offensive turn of the game. I like to keep it for the flexibility. I'd rather just have a 5 card hand coming up here.
Mm. And he doesn't give us the other card, so nice to push 3 damage through on the first turn there and keep an arsenal.
And the reason I didn't give you that last card is because it was 3 of a kind.
Makes sense. That's scary for us to see. Yeah,
Definitely one of
Falcon
Dark's
Wing, which you've
strongest
drawn.
cards.
Sorry, I was just gonna say Falcon Wing, which you've drawn now, is a great arrow to load or double load with on the first turn, but unfortunately, it looks like you just picked
It's
that
a
up.
fantastic card to have in your arsenal at the end of a turn, but loading it in the middle of a turn not as effective. We're gonna start with just awkward breakpoints as my goal against Bravo to make blocking more inconvenient. So we've got a sleep dart here, giving it the go against Volt Arrow, of course. So now it's 5 and on hit. It turns off Bravo's ability for the rest of till the end of his turn, which is really great because it means I won't get a dominated attack coming back at me if the sleep dart manages to connect.
Hmm. So looking at my hand here, I'm not planning to use Dominate on my turn. We've got a little bit too many reds, so we're going to need to commit those to blocking. Probably going to cycle the Arsenal on our next turn. We're going to play this card out, so don't really care about this on hit. We're not going to be dominating anyways. However, we do want to block with... He's going to have one more arrow coming at us and then the Searing Shot, so we're just going to let the Sleep Dart hit. We're not too afraid of losing Dominate here.
And I think that's the right call because the biggest goal with Lexi is the important thing is the sequencing of the order of your arrows. You generally want to go from like least important to most important. I wanted the sleep dart to get blocked so we'd have less options to block this drill shot with because getting -1 counted on equipment is pretty much how I get an end game winnable goal because then on my awkward break it's actually chip damage. But as very predictably, an 0 for 4 D reacts very good into Lexi.
So we are sinking a card here, digging for the blue, which we find. So that changes a little bit of our plan for the rest of the turn here. It is just going to be a Searing Shot. Of course, Snapdragon Scalers, Bullseye Bracers is on the table, but realistically, we're not going to see that come into play until it can be used with something like an Endless Arrow on a Rain Razor's turn, because that's, I don't know, when they're worth the most value. So this is presenting 5 damage here. Looking at our hand, we want to play out 3 cards in Arsenal 1, so we're just going to take it. And that should be it for Jesse.
Yep, didn't have any other tricks that turn. Definitely want to save Bullseyes for a really special turn with something extra mixed in with it. Ooh, Crippling Crush, pretty devastating card into Lexi, losing 2 cards. 11's a pretty awkward amount to block out.
Yeah.
No pitch floating, so I do have the option of just blocking 6 here instead of discarding 2, which means I'd be taking 5. So I'm going to trigger Crush. I think in this case, I'm going to go for a greedier play here. I'm going to just block 9. It does mean my turn is basically going to be nothing, but I think Crippling Crushes are something I just need to not lose 11 health to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's even without Dominate, it's a strong card. Sure, we're not getting as much damage through, but as you can see, Jesse's now forced to just flip up his Arsenal and then probably Arsenal pass. So he's essentially not taking a turn.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
no, we're just setting up a big turn next turn if I get away with it.
and you can see with our Arsenal card here, we were looking maybe to draw something that wasn't just a whole bunch of random blues. So because Jesse's taking an off turn, I would love to punish him. However, looking at our hand, it doesn't look like that's going to be super easily possible. And I guess maybe I shouldn't be speaking out loud what I'm thinking, but in this spot, I would bluff pummel or pretend to have pummel. If I didn't, maybe I do, Jesse. You just pretend you can't hear me.
Yeah, and honestly, something I've learned as Lexi is you even if you know they have pummel, you can't overblock the pummel anyways. Because if I let's say I think it's a red pummel, if I block 10 here, you're just gonna arsenal the pummel and threaten it next turn
Yeah,
anyways.
but the thing, okay, there's two things. One thing is like pummel, yeah, it's a great card, but really it's only a massive threat on CNC, right? Like it works great with some of my crush effects as well. And me arsenaling the pummel is annoying, but pummeling a CNC is much worse. So I feel like it's kind of a question when and I'm probably a bad player, but when I'm in Lexi's spot here, I'm usually like, man, I should either block like 10 or like not block at all. So then it's like even if I don't even have the pummel, they might just not block, take 6, lose their arsenal, and then I'm like, lol, because you just have all these extra
Yeah,
cards that aren't doing anything.
and I've found for my practice the best answer is to just force you to play it if you have it, basically. So I will
Yeah,
block 6, and if he's got it, he's got it.
that makes sense. So if we did have the pummel, we'd be in an excellent spot where he drops 3 cards on top of that, and we'd be feeling great. But as you can see, we were bluffing. Oh, and now we draw a pummel.
And so the big reason why I decided just call the bluff, if you had pummel, I had 1 card in hand, which was this premeditate. I was going to arsenal, I was going to discard my other card. But
Right.
instead, I now get a very, very big tempo swing off of this because I have a 3 kind sitting in my arsenal here.
Oh.
We're just gonna play all kinds of things here.
This is not looking good, team. So this is
Here's
9,
a very big
10.
Falcon Wing for 10 go again.
Wait, how'd it get 10? Oh, because you gave plus 1 with the full tear.
And
Right,
+1,
right.
yeah.
I just forgot that has base go again. All right, so it's on hit pondered, but so will the rest of his arrows. This is going to be the biggest one. This arsenal is not going to work. We have a card in our arsenal that, sure, it's better than maybe the other options we had, but I think we're going to have to crown it away. We don't really have a functional turn. We need to try to draw into something. Or maybe our plan here is we just block like this, sink Arsenal, and then we have two cards in or three cards in hand, two that we want to block with, and one that we want to Arsenal. Um, I think this is fine because he used Voltaire once already, so probably only one more arrow coming at us here if we're able to block it out, unless he chooses to commit bullseyes.
We're going to threaten the bolt and shot because if this does hit, it does also give me the ability to reload another card. With one pitch floating means I can fire any arrow, so it'll probably guarantee a block of some kind from you to stop the on hit.
Yeah, so now, here's the consideration. We can either we're not gonna let this hit us. We can either block six with these two cards, or we can block three and toss the Iron Rot legs in. Obviously, if we keep one of the blues in hand, we're able to swing Anathos back for 4 damage, and 4 damage. It for the like essentially what's happening here is we're blocking four either way, and we get +4 damage if we commit the Iron Rot legs, which is like pretty good for us. But the thing is, Iron Rot legs are also super helpful to stop breakpoints later, like maybe more important ones. And we're actually in a spot where like Anathos is good. We need to get him low on life, so he has to start blocking, but it's not actually going to slow him down, and he's going to take 4 damage down to 31. So I kind of think we need to save Iron Rot for a better pivot turn. I don't know if that's crazy because 4 value off Iron Rot legs does feel like a lot.
Yeah, so now you've put me into an awkward spot. I do have an arrow. I have the option of bullseyes. If I bullseyes this arrow, it's going to be 6 because my goal is I really want to get the Ponderers off the premeditates that I played. But even if I bullseyes in this arrow's going to come in for 6. And presumably being Bravo, you have a 3 block in hand because we know it's not a pummel, or likely not pummel because you would play it last turn, which means it blocks 3, and then your Crater Fist and Ironhide block the remaining 2. Plus, you'll also have Crater Fist's 1 block available against me to close the chain for bullseyes. I think it's too much risk and not enough reward, so I'm actually just going to pass and go to Arsenal here and save it for next turn.
Makes sense. And for us,
As,
it's
as, soon as,
just
as soon as I
Arsenal
lose my
pass.
5 card hands, my turn to turn tempo potential goes way down.
Makes
And so we're
sense.
just going to start with the Lexi special. We're just going to flip the arrow.
Mm.
This was the infecting shot we didn't play last turn. But now let's just have a very easy 3 arrow turn without using up any of our equipment.
So to be completely honest, drill shot's a massive pain in the ass because if we don't block it out at the awkward breakpoint of 4, then we lose a point on our equipment anyway. So like I don't want to block with two cards from hand for 6. And he's if I just do this, he's going to be getting the -1 anyway. So it's like, well, might as well toss Iron Rot legs in front as well to prevent the damage. And then
Yeah, it's definitely where drill shot gets the big value. It's, people always think it's like, oh, if it hits, it's going to force minus 1 equipment. It's like, no, drill shots pretty much just demand you're going to have to block that equipment anyways because that affects
yeah,
you. Every
unless
drill
I
shot you play, your opponent loses an equipment block or double blocks with cards.
and now we just hope he doesn't have Rain Razors. All right, he doesn't, or he's not playing it this turn.
Or we're saving it for the endless arrow just to
Yeah,
threaten potentially making this 6 instead of 4.
that would be sick.
It'd be bad value not playing on the drill shot, but I mean, if you catch your
Um,
opponents off guard with one endless arrow that comes back, you can just take out like half their life total.
yeah. So funnily enough, I saw. I don't know if you watched the Pro Tour stream, but there was a Lexi who saved his Rain Razors for like not even. I think he played an arrow before an endless, brought back the guy let it hit. He brought back the endless and played the endless again. The guy let it hit or like said no blocks, and then he goes Rain Razors, snaps, and then Bullseye's Bracers again for 7. And I was like, damn, because like if he did it earlier, then they would have just blocked 6 and they would have lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's some crazy level of
It was
RNG
actually
there.
like nuts, and it worked really well. And then he ended up losing the game. It was a tight Lexi mirror. It was a very cool game against Andrew Rothermel. I think we're gonna take 4.
Yeah, the Lexi mirror is intense.
Yeah.
All
So
right, so in this case, I could fire this last arrow, it wouldn't have go again, and I pop snappies. I think instead I'm going to guarantee myself a 4 arrow turn and potentially kill whatever you're planning by playing this Arctic Carceration and giving you 3 frostbites, and then I can load this endless next to my infecting shot for next turn.
yeah, I'll be honest, that's pretty dirty, bro. So yeah, that kind of ruined our plan. I was trying to like encourage him to use Snapdragon Scalers, I guess, by giving him the Endless Arrow back, and I assumed that he would only be able to play stuff from Arsenal. So if he plays the Infecting Shot because he didn't have any more Voltaire loads, um, then he wouldn't have actually like gained a card off drawing Endless Arrow because he would only be able to Arsenal one of the two cards in hand. But he got around that with Arctic Incarceration and totally messed up our turnover. So, or you know what I'm saying. So,
Mhm.
it looks like our best option now is to make a Seismic Surge and swing Anathos.
Oh, and I saved myself from a Spiral Crusher, which is great, so pretty much demands at least a 2 card block for me whenever that card comes out.
Yeah, that was a beautifully timed Arctic Incarceration. I was gonna try to steal a little bit of tempo back there, but
And now
casually
we're gonna get
denying.
creative because we've hit another one of our power cards being Art of War.
I'm in
And you'll
danger.
almost always see Art of War in Lexi being declared as giving your attacks +1 and banishing attack to draw 2 more to refill your hand. But in this case, I have the cards and fish to do what I want already. So I'm going to pick buff my attack action cards and give my next attack go again. This means I don't have to waste Snapdragon Scalers on my first attack this turn.
That's pretty
So now we
good.
can just start with this Endless for 5 go again.
No Rain Razors. All right. Yeah,
So
our
now,
hand. Our
because I
hand.
want to threaten reloads later, we're going to fling out the Infecting Shot and pop our Snappies here.
I probably shouldn't have blocked that out. It's too late.
Probably not no, because
I
depending on what else in my hand, it could be
yeah,
danger game.
I can get punished really hard here if you have something like an endless. Searing Shot's not bad.
And it's not a Rain Razor's turn, but the health pool's getting so close. I do have an Endless in my hand, so I want to try and make sure it
Mm,
hits and comes back. So we are going to bullseye it. Because now we get 6.
yeah, that's pretty good.
And then we can just Arsenal this for next turn.
Yeah, and here's the problem, and this is what I experience way too often in this matchup. I think is I don't find the threats that I need early enough, or find the disruption that I need early enough, and then when I do find it, it's like too late. I'm too low on life. I can't pivot because even if I commit my entire hand to blocking, it's like I'm taking at least five.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an awkward spot to be in here, especially because now with the Endless, you know you want to block Endless, but that means you got to save like a card and equipment to block Endless after the 2 arrows hits. You got to block the other 2 arrows while saving at least 1 card.
Yeah. So
Because yeah, if you get like a good Spinal Crusher early, you can just throw all your equipment at me and greatly mitigate the damage you take, and then Dominated Spinal Crush generally takes my turn away. You have a big tempo off of that, but yeah, now you get this slow and your equipment's gone. It's a
yeah,
lot harder.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so importantly, this Bolton shot doesn't actually have on hit reload because his arsenal's, well, like it still does, but his arsenal's full, so he can't reload a card. No Rain Razor shenanigans where he
Yeah,
empties it.
a very common misconception is people think you have a empty arsenal slot, Bolton Shot will trigger, but it does not. There has to be 0 cards in your arsenal
This
when
is
it hits.
this is super awkward. I wish that this, like, putting this pummel in our arsenal essentially is like forcing us to draw into CNC pummel because pummel doesn't really work on too much else in it. Like it works on lots of stuff, but like it's not going to be disruptive enough unless it's like CNC pummel. Maybe like a chokeslam red pummel would do the trick, but I would rather put this crippling in arsenal. But now I just like can't play it out this turn cycle because I don't have a surge up. I'm not gonna be able to put it in arsenal, so it's a blocking card.
So now I've got 2 options here. My Endless Arrow comes up for 4. He still has Tectonic Plague to block 1, can block 1 card from hand, losing with 2 cards. With me not knowing what he has in his hand arsenal, that could still mean he can like just threaten back a CNC or an Amathos. I think in this case, you keeping all 3 cards won't change much, but I think I need to play it safe here and throw the Endless so you will block. And then I'll just have to arsenal my last card here.
So now again we're in the same spot of like uh actually here we don't have to block out this endless, which is kind of funny because unless yeah we don't have to block it out because there's no go again, and he can only arsenal one card because there's not a face up one right now. So if it hits, it's like sure it's going to be in his arsenal and annoying for next turn, but it's like not actually gaining him a card like it sometimes does. So I'm just deciding whether we should be committing the tectonic plating here, or throwing another card in, or not
Mhm.
blocking at all and swinging Anathos, and they all seem like bad options because this game feels lost. But I don't think swinging Anathos. I don't even know how I win from this spot. Swinging Anathos, I'd need to do damage to you, obviously, but swinging Anathos feels so bad. I don't know. I'm just gonna give you the tectonic plating. I don't want to deal with the endless arrow anymore.
No, I think it's fine to block out on this one. I don't have an answer to go with it just to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will ignore Anathos until it puts us to
Yep.
lethal health.
Anathos is just like a little poke to Lexi every once in a while. She's like, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
4 damage, no problem.
So now we get to do more Lexi nonsense because we get to flip Lightning Surge, and since it's Lightning, our first attack we play this turn is going to go again.
That's pretty
And
good.
so in that case, we're going to use this to push the endless that we drew. We drew our third one. We're going to push this to the awkward breakpoint of 5 go again, which will probably force double block or one of the 2 remaining equipment.
Yeah, and now it's like, so like here's the thing: we can't choke slam because we don't have a surge up, and like maybe we should have prioritized making a seismic surge earlier. But this red choke slam is like useless to us right now, which is so sad. We're pretty scared of Rain Razors here. Like we've seen a lot of his deck. He's been drawing through it with three of a kinds. We haven't seen a Rain Razors. It's probably about time. Uh,
Yeah, we're halfway through and I haven't seen one yet, which is crazy.
so I think it's maybe right to do this. All right.
Yeah, that's smart because that does cover the Razors option.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was more likely that you had it than not, because the other option is I just block 5, and then if you rain razors, then I sink below. But then I'm like wasting a 2 block. You know what I mean? Because I am
Yeah.
blocking 2 extra. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna think there's a high chance that he's got it. Sleep dart. Uh, so
Here's
yeah,
the thing, even if Razors is in my hand now, this is the only arrow the turn's going to affect,
yeah,
which is bad value.
true. Hmm. Well, this sucks. We can't do anything with our hand other than swing Anathos. So we should be blocking. I like he has Tunic up. He only has one resource, and Voltaire's been used twice for the, yeah, I think for the endless as well. So
Yeah.
it's probably just gonna be Arsenal Pass or 4 Arsenal Pass. So I think this is probably the end of it, and I think we just need to preserve life.
Yeah, so we got the Lightning Surge here for the 4.
Yeah.
And then our last card in hand, unfortunately
Oh, it's
for
Codex
you,
of Frailty.
Codex
Oh
of
man, I
Frailty.
forgot that card even existed. Damn. I don't know why I forget. Like, yeah. Anyways, I'm very well aware it's a card. I'm surprised you haven't seen Rain
So
Razors.
so people might be thinking like, okay, what arrow do you grab? That's always the big question. Endless is never a wrong choice just because of the recurring value on it.
Be a
But given that you're at
Ponder.
exactly 7 health, I have Ponder to refill my arsenal. I'm gonna grab Infecting Shot to threaten a total of lethal, which will get more equipment out of you.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And just use Tunic to pay for it, and then Arsenal another card.
Well, no, I don't want to pay 2 or 3 because I can't. Pitches a Codex.
Alright, so now we have a Rain Razors finally.
I'm dead. I'm sync
But
below.
yeah, and the other card in my hand was another Codex of Frailty, so I would have grabbed a Falcon Wing with it or a Bolden Shot for the go again into that Infecting Shot.
Do you want to do a quick rematch? That was pretty quick. I think we can play another game pretty quick.
Do you want to do quick or do you want to do full so you can change the turn order?
Oh no, I don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, going second's what I prefer is Lexi.
Yeah, I
I
like.
think the only matchup Lexi doesn't want to go first or doesn't want to go second into anymore is just Kano.
That's fair. I like to go first as Bravo because
Ooh,
then I can do stuff like that
yeah,
sometimes. So dominated red chokeslam. We're definitely starting the second game off on a better foot than the first game. He's gonna be taking
yeah,
5, unless he wants to commit
yeah.
equipment, or he shows us that fancy trick if it's like a red reinforced or something.
No fancy trick this turn, I'm afraid. I'm just going to get the choke slam effect, which is really good for you to land on me turn 0 here. We are
Yeah,
going to load, but we're just going to play it safe and load 1 arrow. I'm going to pitch the red Bolton Shot away because it's useless on the choke slam turn because it can't gain power at all, so it won't have go again innately.
nice call out. Sleep dart.
Yeah, Sleep Dart to end my next turn is great because that hopefully gets me out of this loop I'm now stuck in. think it's still the right play. I did draw 3 of Kinds. We are gonna take it to fix our hand here. Look for some answers.
Hmm.
I guess we're just gonna do it this way here. Not ideal. I got Endless Arrows, but without any buffs for them, they are pretty easy block, especially this early on. But I also drew a Bolt and Shot, which again is pretty useless this turn because of the Chokeslam.
Yeah, so for anybody watching, looking at Bravo our hand, uh, we want to play out our arsenal and arsenal this card afterwards, and pay with these two to swing Athos as well. So we're gonna be blocking with one card, or we can pay with these two. It doesn't matter either of the blues. So we're gonna be blocking with one card at one point in this turn. We're not dominating. Don't tell Jesse. So Sleep Dart doesn't actually scare us that much sitting there. Endless Arrow. He already has 4 cards in hand. Like, yeah, it's annoying that he gets it all the time, and maybe I undervalue blocking it when he's not actually gaining a card from it. But like, he's just gonna draw it into a hand of 5 cards. And sure, if he has no other arrows, it's good because he can load it again. But like, he's not gonna be able to. He can't play all those cards. He only can load with Voltaire twice, even though it strikes more than once. It's still only twice. So I'm probably just gonna take it.
Okay. And yeah, so then traditional Lexi fashion, you get to keep your Endless, so you might as well just fire it again, get the free damage while you can.
Yeah, so unless he's doing snaps and bullseyes bracers, the sleep dart is the last arrow of the turn. Or I guess
And if you
quiver
if
of
you
rustling
hadn't hit me with
leaves.
Chokeslam, if you didn't hit me with that Chokeslam this turn, I would have used Bullseyes because then it would have Bullseyes into Bolt and Shot into Endless again,
Dang.
potentially. But because of the Chokeslam, Bolt and Shot won't get the +1 and won't get to go again. So I am going to end it just with the Sleep Dart
Good thing I hit you
and
with the choke slam then,
push
hey?
that away.
Alright,
Yeah, no, the Chokeslam was very beneficial this turn.
nice. So we are taking
And
5. We've. Sorry, go ahead.
my last thought here is Lexi's. I could pitch 3 into Quiver and hope to hit an arrow and then double load my arsenal for next turn. But given what I have here, I don't want to pitch away all these cards, so I'm just going to Arsenal single arrow.
Nice. So we are not threatening disruption this turn. We are just smacking Lexi's face. 7, and I'm assuming he's just going to take it all, but we'll see. And then it's going to be 6 with Anathos. So that's a 3-card 13, which is 4 and a bit per card, which is kind of where you want to be. And strong arsenal
That's
card
like
as well.
Ranger levels of value there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we have another Ardor, and we're gonna do something that makes me incredibly sad here. We're gonna pitch an Endless away, and then we're gonna banish the other Endless in my hand to draw 2.
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
And then we're gonna play the 3 of Kind that we had as our 4th card that was in our hand there. Oh, hang on. It just ate my pitch card for some reason. There we go.
Nice. At least he's pitchless. Sure, now he has 4 cards and 1 in arsenal, but at least he doesn't have resources up right now. I don't know. It could be worse.
So the reason I gave away my Endless is to play the Ardor instead of 3 of Kinds because in my arsenal here's a Bolt and Shot.
That's
so now
cheeky.
that I've been able to give it a buff, it threatens to go get an on-hit reload at the start of a 3 of a Kind turn.
So here's what I'm scared of. If we hold on to what we have in our hand here, which is this combo of cards, there's a chance that Lexi just like extends all the way into us, and now our combo is like poop. You know what I mean? And we want to be making a seismic surge, so I'm more tempted to like be blocking for 6 on this turn with these 2 items here, and then just playing out and that's because pummel only blocks for 2, and then just playing out naked CNC no pummel, just so we don't have to like commit so much of our life total by not blocking to playing it out. We want to be blocking twice. We definitely don't want to let Bolton hit. This is a 3 of a kind turn, so it's okay to use some armor, especially since we only want to block with 2 cards. So let's give him 3 and a tectonic plating block.
I completely agree. If there's ever a time to block Bolt and Shots, it's the 3 of a Kind turns because the extra value you can potentially get from it is just insane.
Yeah, and Art War's pumping right now as well. Sleep Dart. So Sleep Dart we don't care about. And that's not just to be clear, that's not always true. Sleep dart sometimes really annoying when you're Bravo.
Yeah, from the Lexi side of the table, it's a sigh of relief every time a sleep dart goes through. It's like, okay, whatever's coming next turn, it's not dominated. I can
True.
deal with it.
True.
And I found my third endless. I got very lucky.
So here's the oh man. We're in the same situation again, guys. It keeps coming up. If he draws the endless into his hand, now he has two cards in his hand. He can only arsenal one. He's used Voltaire twice, so like he's not gaining a card. But we're on an Art of War turn. Snaps Bullseye's Bracer is very much online, and maybe getting this third endless arrow, and the other one's on the bottom of the deck. Maybe this like last endless arrow until second cycle, just blocking it out, getting rid of it. Maybe that's a good thing, and I think it's what I'm gonna do. Forces him to use Snapdragons and Bullseye Bracers on something else, anyways. So
Yeah, because I don't even have the option of snaps. The other thing I'd be concerned about as a Lexi player, if you don't block, it's because you're gonna keep a big turn and you're expecting the bullseye snappies anyways, and you have something worth taking it for. The big concern I'm worried about is if you don't block or only block threes, that you have a D-react for the remainder, and you're waiting for me to activate snappies before you play that D-react. So I'm glad to see the full block here because it makes my decision easy.
nice. Worked for
And
both of
since
us.
Cook's Frailty exists, there's still a chance I get those endlesses back very quickly.
Yeah. So having CNC and Pummel to play out would be sweet. Honestly, if the Pummel was red here, it's probably a different decision, both because I would have to block with it because I wouldn't be able to play the CNC with it, and Pummel only blocks two. So you either want to be pitching or playing Pummel, not really blocking. Um, yeah, but he only has one arsenal. I don't know. This is safe. It says, hey, block with two cards, and we got our Surge, which we want to play out with our arsenal on the following turn. So we have a little bit of armor left too to help kind of push him down to that lethal life zone. And then as soon as he's in the lethal life zone, he has to start respecting Anathos, which is excellent for us. So we just want to.
Yeah, and I'm in this awkward spot of my arsenal card is very important to me right now. My hand's okay. I think in this case it's worth me just giving you the six because you don't have the resources to threaten the pummel from your arsenal right here. And then I'll just hope next turn it's not another CNC.
Fair enough.
So I do want to double up my arsenal this turn, so I am going to flip this card to reveal it was a Rain Razors I was protecting.
Fair enough.
And then we're gonna once again hope 3 Frostbites is enough to kill your style.
Yeah, it really is. So our turn went from bad to worse. We weren't able to play out our arsenal that we wanted to. We found something in our hand we were going to be able to play out after blocking two with the pummel, which is pretty awkward. Uh, but now we have three frostbites, so let's throw all the plans out the window. We need to swing Anathos, and we can make a seismic surge first. That's all we can pay for.
Yeah, the value red Arctic Preservation has is absolutely ridiculous, especially in Lexi, because if you
Actually,
end up
wait,
arsenaling one, it's 4 Frostbites for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, wait a second. Yeah. No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm just trying to do math, and it's not going so hot. Okay, so this is a thing. Well, he's gonna play three of a kind now.
Yes, I do. I just start with this.
That's so cheeky. Why didn't you use Rain Razors as a reaction?
Because there's not much for me to bluff with here. I'm definitely going all out on this turn.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But now I know
Probably would
Heat
have been
Seekers
smarter
for
to save
seven
it,
though.
but yeah,
Hmm.
you're probably right. It probably would have been safe. It's smarter to save it as a reactionary
I don't
thing.
know. Either way, I know you're doing snaps, but yeah, because like before, maybe I would have been tempted to block five, but now I'm just like seven. That's a big number.
Yeah.
Uh, and
But
I
honestly,
like
as Lexi, that's usually our goal. Like 7, you're like, oh, 7, that's perfect for like 3 plus sync. I'm like, yes, use it all on the first attack of the turn, please.
yeah. So Heat Seeker's annoying because it continues into his next turn. Realistically, here, guys, I don't think we're gonna be able to keep our entire hand unless we crown this away and block with the new card we draw, or block with one of these. Yeah, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 block. Maybe I should just commit that right now. He doesn't have endlesses. What are his threats? He doesn't have endless. Infecting shot's annoying, but it's just damage. And 2 damage from Blood Rot is less valuable than an entire card from Heatseeker. He has. There's no like red in the ledger or anything or like maybe remorseless, but I kind of think it's just Like, what's worse than a Heat Seeker? I don't need the Sleep Dart. Or my hero ability. Unless I'm missing something. Okay, here's the thing. Bolton Shot lets him extend this turn a long time. Like, if he goes into 3 of a kind from hand now, and then he's like Bolton Shot for 6, that's pretty bad for me. I'm just going to take 7. I'm not even afraid.
I'm not gonna lie, Max. You completely read my mind. My second arrow was a bullet shot before I clicked your Arsenal. Oh, sorry. I need to go back. I made a worse mistake there.
Oh, that's alright.
I can't go back to the reaction step. I forgot to activate my snappies. We were
Oh,
chilling that step
oh,
for so
oh,
long.
oh. Here, wait. That was
I'll just
my
go
bad. Let's just
start
go
a
to
turn
start
again.
turn. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rain Razors was face up and you
Oh,
played it? Yeah, that's totally fine.
yeah.
I didn't see it was face up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Heat Seeker was the face down.
Yeah, that totally makes sense then. I thought you just played it from hand.
There we go. Back on track.
Nice.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The reason I emptied my arsenal first, and it's almost always the reason Lexi will empty an arsenal before doing anything else, is because it's a Bolton Shot coming next.
Hmm.
I do have certain plans that change based on whether or not I get a reload off of the Bolton Shot, but my arsenal must be empty to benefit from it.
No more Bolton
Okay.
shots. No more Bolton shots.
I'm looking at your arsenal, or looking at your graveyard, I mean. I have a codex in hand now. I'm debating, do I play the codex, or do I pitch it for quiver?
Interesting. Give me that CNC, please.
That's what I'm debating, right? If I grab anything, you get a CNC back. So whatever I ponder still gets threatened by CNC.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean one less blocking card this turn. I do think I'm gonna gamble the quiver here.
All right. Nice. That's beautiful for you.
Yeah, because I can use change to pay for this, and I can arsenal my last card. Again, as Lexi with Fuseless now, you really want to keep a 5-card turn every turn, so you kind of want to save one to arsenal most turns.
Yeah, and we're just eating it. We need to do the thing.
And since it was Heat Seeker, it's a 6-card hand, and that's why I specifically kept that card to arsenal beside it, so I'm going to jam my arsenal with 2 non-go again arrows. Oh. Oh, and this is the case of he's got pummel. Otherwise, he would have been blocking.
Yeah,
There's
because
two cards in hand with
yeah.
CNC.
Like
It's like red alert, pummel alert signs are going off in my head. But now the second question becomes, what color? Red pummel means I have to block 10. If it's not red, I don't have to block as much here.
True.
However, I think given the state of everything that's here, given what my options are in my hand, I wish I didn't have to block 10 here, but I think there's no other way I get around it, so we were going to give you the 10.
Yeah, nice. So the other reason this kind of works out really nicely for us right now is even if he does block 10, we pay 3 for the Blood Rot and Arsenal a card, so we're not IP penaltying ourselves.
Yeah, so you probably saved your pummel, but the reason I had to do that is because I can still present lethal this turn.
Yeah,
because Lightning Surge gives this go again.
That's a pretty big deal.
Oh, there's a very good answer for that, though.
That's not what I wanted to draw at all. Oh, man. All right. We were looking for a blue, and now we have a card that blocks so much worse than the old card. It's freaking useless. Oh, my God. Oh, that was awful. All right. I think we just lost the game because we didn't draw blue. Wow, this is awful. Again, we're in the same situation where it's like this pummel's in our arsenal now, but like it feels so bad. Like I want to arsenal this card and maybe try one last pivot, but now pummel's in our arsenal. And it's like either we wait for the second CNC or like a red choke slam. Yeah, drawing a blue would have been pretty nice. Then we could have just played it, but then the question is like, do we just give this now as well? Or is he going to attack us again? He has Bullseye's Bracers online, but he doesn't have any resources for Voltaire. So I think we just give it now.
Yeah, that's good news for me. If you didn't block at all there, I would Bullseye as my last 0-cost arrow just to threaten as much damage as I could, because if you're keeping cards, it means you probably have a good turn.
Yeah.
Because you're blocking out, the worst thing to worry about again is a CNC. I am going to arsenal the 0-cost arrow, especially because it has go again, so my next turn gets set up really well from it. And yeah, it's just Anathos here, so we're in a very good spot all of a sudden.
Very bad. Yeah, this game feels like it did just fall through our fingertips here. We were maybe in the running for a little bit, especially when we yeah, see, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have crowned away the pulverize for the CNC pummel, but I don't know.
Yeah, so that my hand's a little awkward, but what I'm going to do is guarantee you're not doing anything, so we're going to start with some control with the blue Witch's Bite.
Sure.
So
So we
you're down to
just
3 blocking cards.
yeah, we just pitch our lowest blocking card there. So we have a pretty good 3 card hand here if we're able to keep it, but we're gonna go down to like super low life if that happens. And he has used Voltaire once or 0 times? 0 times?
0.
Zero
This was the
times.
card I saved from last turn.
So we're certainly gonna have to block. We're gonna give him 3 here and then see what else he does. Is it for 5 go again? It's for 5 go again. So we're gonna give him 3 here, taking 2. Yeah, and this game feels over again.
Yeah, and then we're gonna
Ooh, that's pretty good.
leave you with awkward choices here. I could grab Infecting Shot to threaten more damage here, but there's a chance you actually don't fully block an Infecting Shot to keep your cards. I'm gonna pick Endless. The only way you full block this is by giving me the card in your hand, unless it's a D-React in your arsenal.
Sure.
So I've got the Ponder to still refill my 5th arsenal.
Yeah.
My 5th card slot, basically.
I've changed my philosophy. As long as it is an endless arrow, you arsenal whatever you'd like.
So it's premeditated with Ponder, which is beautiful. So now we just have another very good turn. 7 go again here, very efficient number to have.
Yeah, so on hit we lose a life, on hit ponder. This game's over. I'm sorry, viewers. I couldn't bring Bravo home this time. I don't and like the thing is, same as before. Like his most threatening arrow is infecting shot. I guess maybe Bolton shot, but he has the bullseyes anyways, so it's like this one's like life, like just a life here is kind of a big deal, and I'm blocking it anyways. Let's just like make him have something worse than this. I don't want to lose a life.
Yeah, so I actually only have 1 more arrow in hand, but I do have a 2nd premeditate in my hand
Oh
here, so it's gonna
jeez.
fire another giant arrow at you. It's a heat
Oh
seeker to
boy.
potentially set up a double arsenal for next turn if you survive here.
Yeah, so I take 6.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna let the Heat Seeker resolve first. See, we can choose the order here, but you always want to resolve Heat Seeker first, because then you draw 2 from Ponder and decide if you want Arsenal beside it. In this case, I don't, because I don't want to jam my Arsenal, so I actually don't get value out of those Ponder tokens.
So I couldn't block with the last card, otherwise I woulda. It's Grandeur.
Oh no. Alright, and I think we might as well end things the way we started. Let's play another 3 of a kind.
Oh boy. Yeah, so this is on hit death because we'd be taking 1 and then 1 additional, so we have to block it out. No better way to do it than with 2-3 blocks. So another Voltaire, Heat Seeker, and at this point the writing's on the wall. We could block 6 here, but he has the blue Bolton face up, and that is going to be good game. And you heard it here, people. Bravo is not a good hero. No, I'm just kidding. Actually,
we did see both games where you did not get a chance to get any of the big control out early. Like, you got the chokes on the one turn, but I didn't have any buffs in hand that turn.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it.
I followed it up. I thought I was going to get the disruption rolling because I followed it up with the 3-card 13, the Rouse, and I arsenaled Pulverize. Now all I have to do is like make a Seismic Surge and then play a 4-card Pulverize for like 14, threatening 18 if you get hit, right? You know what I mean? Because you get the -4. And then it's like, as soon as I'm getting over 4 points per card, I'm feeling pretty good. Like Lexi, sure, she's like Value City, but I'm not sure she can get above 4 points per card all of the time. And if I'm doing it as Bravo, and then I'm also able to like disrupt you and just like, honestly, I just want you to get down to like 5 life by not blocking, so that I can say Anathos for 6 and you have to go, oh dang, that's gonna kill me. Once we're in that part of the game, I feel much more comfortable.
Yeah, just because you had 13 damage, but you had 0 disruption there, and that's what really let me swing the game back over.
Yeah.
I didn't even deal any damage to the turn afterwards, where I took your whole hand away, and you pretty much didn't get to do anything the rest of the game other than Anathos.
No, that's definitely true. And the other thing to point out is if there was anything better in that hand, like if we had something like a Spinal Crush in that hand where we went Rouse, we would 100% of the time be going Dominated Spinal Crush or whatever instead of Rouse the Ancients. But like it felt like it was maybe going to be enough. It most certainly wasn't. I thought the Arsenal Pulverize was going to be good, and then we crowned into CNC Pummel and then got stuffed. So yeah,
Yeah, and we
good
didn't
games,
even get to
Jesse.
see plan. Art of War is in this deck. It's actually normally just sideboard. I bring it in just for Bravo and sometimes Dory or even Dromai. It's actually
Hmm.
in this deck primarily defensively now. Because if you threaten a dominated Spinal Crush, I always have a card in Arsenal from last turn.
Yeah,
So I can defend Art of War, give things +1 and block from Arsenal, and block 8 with 2 cards.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a really really good thing to point out for our viewers. That's I think I don't have you gotten me with it before? Someone got me with it before because you can also like load arrows with Voltaire. So if you're like pitching to
Yes.
Art of War anyways, then you have two floating, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
load twice with Voltaire and then block from Arsenal to get around Dominate. It's kind of sick.
Yeah, like if
Um,
Lexi has to, she can actually block like a 12 dominate with that method.
yeah, yeah, and I guess the downside is now you're not picking the banish and draw two mode, and that's probably the best mode on Art of War. But it's a very very effective way of getting around Dominate, and sometimes picking modes that aren't banish and draw two is the right call.
Yeah, because I mean, if I'm playing defensive hardware, my turn is going to be over by whatever on it you're threatening anyways. So it's better just to preserve the life totals and give up my hand.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
Anyways,
yeah, red Arctic is the real table turner there. I think,
yeah,
especially
true,
because if Lexi has to, you
true.
can block 9, play Arctic, and pray they draw reds.
I think that actually like yeah, that was my other problem is I was drawing more reds than I maybe expected to. Oh, and also I just remembered Grandeur is supposed to be in the sideboard against Lexi. We have 40 blues and we run 39 against Lexi and Ninja because we want to be able to block 3 with all of our cards.
Right.
Um and we already have the blue unmovables, which are kind of not that great against Lexi. Um, yeah, but each time you played Arctic Incarceration, I already had hands that were like super tight for resources. Like they were just like barely gonna work because I had a seismic surge from the previous turn or something. And then it's like three frostbites. It's like, man, at least I can still swing Amethyst. Could have been
Yeah.
worse. Could have been worse. Anyways, thank you for watching if you made it this far in the video, and let us know in the comments below what matchup you would like to see next because we would be eager to make more gameplay videos for you all. Thank you, Jesse, for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me, Max. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.